My dear sisters and brothers, have you ever opened your eyes in the quiet of the night, sometime between 3 and 5 a.m., and wondered, why am I awake right now? No alarm, no noise, just you, your heartbeat, and the deep stillness of the world around you. Subhanallah, we often dismiss these moments as random, as inconvenience, as disturbed sleep. But what if it is not random at all? What if the one who never sleeps gently called your soul before the rest of creation even stirred? You see, in our busy days we run, we scroll, we answer everyone except the one who created us. So sometimes, out of His mercy, Allah creates a private appointment with you when the world is silent and distractions are asleep. Between 3 and 5 a.m. is not just a time on the clock, it is a window of divine closeness, a moment when hearts are softer, du'as are more sincere, and the veil between you and Allah feels thinner. The question is not, why did I wake up? The real question is, what did I do with that invitation? Because not every awakening is physical. Some of us are awake in body, but asleep in heart. And sometimes Allah wakes your body because He wants to wake your soul. He wants you to whisper to Him. He wants you to return. He wants you to stand before Him when no one is watching and say, Ya Rabbab, I am here. My dear sisters and brothers, there is something deeply personal about the moments when your eyes open in the stillness of the night, somewhere between 3 and 5 a.m., when the world feels suspended and the noise of life has faded into silence. Many people turn to their pillow and try to force themselves back to sleep, slightly irritated, slightly confused, telling themselves it is just a random disturbance. But what if it is not random at all? What if this moment carries a mercy that your busy daylight hours rarely allow you to notice? What if the one who created your heart is gently drawing your attention back to Him when the world is finally quiet enough for you to listen? In our daily lives, we are constantly surrounded by demands. Phones vibrate, responsibilities pile up, conversations overlap, and our minds become crowded spaces filled with worry, planning, and distraction. We intend to remember Allah, we intend to slow down, we intend to make heartfelt dua, but the day sweeps us forward before our intentions can settle into action. Allah, in His infinite mercy, knows the state of His servants. He knows how easily we become overwhelmed, how quickly we become distracted, how often our hearts become veiled by the noise of dunya. So sometimes, out of love that we do not even recognize in the moment, He creates for you a private space in time when the world is no longer competing for your attention. Those early hours between 3 and 5 a.m. are not ordinary hours. They carry a unique stillness that the human soul naturally responds to. The air feels different. The mind is softer. The heart is more exposed. It is in these moments that many people feel emotions they have been suppressing all day. Worries surface, regrets whisper, longings become clear, and often we think something is wrong with us for feeling so vulnerable at that hour. But perhaps nothing is wrong at all. Perhaps this is exactly the state in which the heart is meant to return to its Creator. Allah does not need our worship, and He does not benefit from our waking. It is we who are in constant need of Him, yet look at His gentleness. Instead of leaving us completely lost in our distractions, He sometimes interrupts our sleep with a quiet awakening that feels almost intentional. Not harsh, not forced, just enough to open your eyes and give you a choice. And this is where the mercy lies, in the choice itself. You are not compelled. You are invited. When a servant wakes at this hour, there is a hidden honor in it, even if the person does not immediately recognize it. Because while millions of people remain in deep sleep, unaware and unmoved, Allah allowed your consciousness to rise above the heaviness of the night. Your eyes opened, your mind became aware, your heart had a moment of clarity. This in itself is a gift. The question is not whether every single awakening is mystical or extraordinary, because our bodies do have natural rhythms. But the believer looks at life through a different lens. The believer asks, how can I use this moment to come closer to Allah? Rather than dismissing the moment entirely. There is something else very beautiful about this time. It is a time of sincerity. During the day, even our good deeds can sometimes be mixed with the desire to be seen or appreciated. We pray in front of others, we give charity publicly, we speak about faith in social spaces. But at 3 or 4 a.m., there is no audience, there is no performance, there is only you and Allah, and sincerity grows best in private soil. When you sit up in the darkness and whisper a dua that no human being will ever hear. That moment carries a purity that daytime worship often struggles to reach. Many of the righteous people before us treasured these hours, not because they were superhuman, but because they understood something we often forget. They understood that the night is when the heart can finally breathe. They knew that during the last portion of the night, distractions are at their lowest and divine mercy is vast. They did not see waking up as an inconvenience. They saw it as an opening, a door quietly unlocked. And sometimes, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah wakes you not because you are already strong in your faith, but because you are struggling. Sometimes He wakes you because your heart is heavy with something you have not spoken about. Sometimes He wakes you because you are drifting, and this is His gentle way of pulling you back before you go too far. Sometimes He wakes you because there is a dua inside you that has not yet been spoken aloud. We often imagine that divine mercy must arrive in dramatic ways, through big life changes, through obvious signs, through moments that feel unmistakably miraculous. But Allah's mercy is often much softer than that. It can come in the quiet opening of your eyes at an unusual hour. It can come in the sudden inability to fall back asleep. It can come in that restless feeling that nudges you to sit up, even if just for a minute. Mercy does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers in the language of stillness. If you find yourself awake at this time, even occasionally, do not rush to label it as meaningless. Pause for a moment. Notice the silence around you. Notice the calm that does not exist during your busy daytime hours. Notice how your thoughts feel different in that space. And gently ask yourself, what if this moment was meant for me? You do not have to force anything complicated. Even sitting up and saying quietly, "Wallah, I am here," can transform the entire experience. There is also something deeply healing about turning to Allah when the rest of the world is asleep. During the day we carry roles: parent, child, spouse, student, worker, and each role comes with expectations and pressures. But in the depth of the night those roles fall away. You are simply a servant standing before your Lord. No titles, no performance, no comparison. Just a heart returning to the one who knows it better than anyone else ever could. Some people worry. What if I wake up but feel too tired? What if I cannot pray long? What if my mind feels foggy? Remember, Allah looks at the sincerity of the heart far more than the length of the action. Even a few quiet moments of remembrance in that time can carry immense weight. Even a short, sleepy dua can be beloved if it comes from a sincere place. The beauty of this invitation is that it is not about perfection. It is about presence. Over time, if a person begins to honor these moments, even occasionally, something subtle starts to change inside them. The heart becomes more sensitive. The connection with Allah becomes more personal. The noise of the world loses a little bit of its grip, and slowly, almost quietly, the person begins to understand why the night has always been described as a special meeting place between the servant and the Creator. So the next time you find your eyes opening between 3 and 5 before you immediately turn away in frustration, pause just for a breath. Recognize that you have been given a moment that many people are sleeping through. Recognize that your Lord, in His vast mercy, allowed you to experience a pocket of stillness in a very noisy world. And in that gentle awareness, allow your heart, even if only for a few seconds, to turn back toward the one who woke you. My dear sisters and brothers, once we begin to understand that waking between 3 and 5 a.m. can be more than just a broken sleep cycle, the next question gently rises in the heart: how should we respond when this moment comes? Because an invitation, no matter how beautiful, only transforms us when we answer it. Many of us wake in those quiet hours, feel the stillness for a few seconds, and then immediately pull the blanket back over our heads. We tell ourselves we are too tired, too busy, too overwhelmed, and sometimes, yes, our bodies genuinely need rest. Islam is a religion of balance and mercy, but there are also nights when the body is tired and the soul is being called at the same time, and learning to recognize that difference is part of spiritual maturity. Responding to Allah's call in the quiet hours does not begin with grand gestures. It begins with awareness. The moment your eyes open, instead of rushing into irritation, allow your heart to soften. Remind yourself gently, perhaps this is not a disturbance, perhaps this is an opportunity. Even that small shift in mindset begins to change the entire experience. You move from annoyance to curiosity, from resistance to openness. And Allah loves when His servant turns toward Him even with the smallest step. The most beautiful responses are often the simplest ones. If you wake and feel able, sit up slowly. You do not have to jump out of bed with perfect energy. Even sitting for a few moments in the dim light of your room, whispering words of remembrance, begins to fulfill that time with barakah. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught us simple adhkar for when we wake, words that reconnect the tongue and the heart to Allah before the world rushes back in. Many people underestimate the power of these quiet whispers, but the heart does not measure impact the way the world does. A soft, sincere alhamdulillah in the darkness can carry more weight than long, distracted speech in the daylight. If you find the strength, making wudu in those hours has a special sweetness. The coolness of the water, the quietness of the home, the gentle intention forming in your chest, it creates a moment that feels deeply intimate. You are preparing not for anyone's eyes, not for a public gathering, but for a private standing before your Lord. And when you stand in prayer during the last part of the night, even if it is only 2 short rak'ahs, there is a calm that many people spend their entire days searching for and never quite find. But it is important to understand something very clearly. Responding to this invitation is not about pressuring yourself into exhaustion or turning the night into a burden. Islam does not call you to harm your body or neglect your responsibilities. If you are truly unwell, severely sleep-deprived, or in a situation where waking regularly would damage your health or your obligations, Allah knows your condition better than you do. What matters is the heart's willingness. What matters is that when the opportunity appears and you are able, you treat it with respect rather than dismissal. There will be nights when you wake and manage to pray. There will be nights when you wake and only whisper a short dua. There will be nights when you wake, feel the heaviness of your body, and simply turn your heart toward Allah before returning to sleep. Even that has value. Consistency in small, sincere responses is more beloved than rare dramatic efforts that cannot be sustained. The goal is not to become superhuman overnight. The goal is to build a gentle, living relationship with these quiet hours. One of the most powerful things you can do in that time is make personal dua. Not formal, memorized phrases alone, though those are beautiful, but your own honest words. The night has a way of dissolving the walls we build during the day. In daylight, we often edit ourselves. We filter our emotions. We worry about sounding composed. But between 3 and 5 a.m., the heart speaks more freely. This is a precious gift. Tell Allah what is weighing on you. Tell Him what you are afraid of. Tell Him what you are hoping for but have been too shy to admit. He already knows, of course, but the act of turning to Him transforms the heart of the servant. Another gentle way to respond is through quiet reflection. Sometimes you may wake and not feel the immediate pull to speak. In those moments, simply sitting in stillness and remembering Allah in your heart is deeply valuable. The world trains us to believe that only visible action counts, but the unseen movements of the heart are often more significant. A heart that softens in the night, a heart that feels humbled in the darkness, a heart that becomes aware of its dependence on Allah, these are profound shifts even if no one else ever sees them. Over time, if you begin to honor these moments, you may notice something subtle but powerful happening in your days. Your reactions may become calmer. Your patience may stretch a little further. Your reliance on Allah may feel more natural. This is one of the hidden fruits of responding to the night's invitation. The night shapes the day in ways we do not always immediately recognize. The private moments with Allah begin to echo into public moments with people. It is also helpful to prepare gently before sleep, not with pressure but with intention. Before you lie down at night, you might whisper a quiet intention in your heart, "Where Allah, if you wake me, let me respond in a way that pleases you." This simple intention plants a seed. Sometimes the body still sleeps heavily. Sometimes the alarm of the soul is still faint. But sometimes, by Allah's mercy, you will find yourself waking with a little more clarity, a little more readiness, a little more softness in the heart. And be very careful, my dear brothers and sisters, not to let Shaitan turn this into a source of guilt and despair. There will be nights you miss. There will be nights you sleep through. There will be phases of life especially for parents of young children, for the ill, for the exhausted, when waking consistently feels nearly impossible. Do not let the door of mercy become, in your mind, a door of shame. Allah is Al-Latif, the most gentle. He sees your circumstances fully. What He loves is the servant who keeps turning back again and again, even after many imperfect attempts. The beauty of responding to Allah's call in these quiet hours is that it is deeply personal. It is not meant to be displayed. It is not meant to become a competition. It is a private thread being woven between your heart and your Lord. Some nights it will feel strong. Some nights it will feel fragile. But every sincere response, no matter how small, strengthens that thread. So when you find yourself awake in the depth of the night, do not rush past the moment as if it has no meaning. Let your heart pause. Let your soul breathe. Let your tongue remember. Whether you stand or sit or simply whisper in the darkness, treat that time as the gentle opening that it is, and allow yourself, in whatever small way you can manage, to step through it toward Allah